What's up everybody, Doc John here from Mobility Doc. I want to cover with you right now how you can help to heal your own pulled hamstring. Here at Mobility Doc, we use muscle scrapers. We use them often. They do an incredible job of increasing circulation and blood flow, breaking up adhesions, and increasing the resting length of soft tissue. So when someone pulls a hamstring on some level of a spectrum, from a little micro tear or micro trauma to like a full tear, what you've gone and done is you've separated some of your muscle fibers, and when it inflames and then it cools and it scars, what you're left with is tissue that's a little less elastic. That less stretchy hamstring is capable of being aggravated more easily. Because it's not stretchy, it inflames more easily. It doesn't stretch as easily. It's hard to have it be as strong. It fatigues more quickly. That would be why when you're deadlifting, you start to hurt. Maybe not on the first rep, but after a few reps or a few sets or after a certain weight. And what muscle scraping does is it helps you to get back to where you were before the injury. Now, scraping in and of itself is not the entire protocol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the entire protocol. Inside of the description below, we are going to put a link so that way you can purchase your own muscle scraper. If you have one, great. If you want to get a different one, that's fine too. All I can tell you is that the muscle scraper that we use at Mobility Doc and that we sell to our patients at Mobility Doc, those are the exact ones we're using. The ones that I'm giving you the link to is exactly what we use. It's tried and true, and it's a phenomenal product. All right, so let's get into the hamstring. I'm gonna pretend that I have pulled my left side, and that I'm gonna try my best to do is give you a few different angles so that way you can follow along. Now, for most of the muscle scrapers, like Sidekick, they're gonna come with their own emollient. You can use different types of emollients. This itself is just ultrasound gel. We use ultrasound gel here a lot. There's nothing wrong with using like Aquaphor, certain lotions, but pro tip, if you use the wrong emollient, the wrong lotion, what happens is it just absorbs too quickly into your skin and then you're just scraping your skin. You need to use something. You can even do this in the shower. Soap is an excellent opportunity with some water to be able to get into the hamstring. But if you buy a Sidekick, it's gonna come with it. This right here is a Grasset instrument that we've had for forever, the OG of the muscle scrapers in the Western world. I realize that Eastern medicine runs deep and has been around for a long time. What I can tell you is that on the Western side, they went and they built upon those principles, did a bunch of research, and standardized the tools with a specific material, that being steel, with the right kind of bevels, so that way you can get the most out of this. So this here is a Grasset instrument. What I'm gonna do to start is I'm gonna put a little bit of the emollient right on my hamstring. So I'm gonna roll my pants up just a little bit, don't worry. And then I like ultrasound gel because it shouldn't just run. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that right there. That was a generous amount on one spot. But see, look, it's sticking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and use the instrument just to kind of apply it and spread it around a little bit. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my hands on the outer edges. The Sidekick tool looks basically exactly like this and even has like a nicer grip. The Grasset instruments are ungodly expensive, so I don't recommend buying the Grasset instrument. If you have it, great, that's fine. But this is just what we use in the medical field, and it had the original patent on the muscle scrapers. What we're gonna do is you're gonna get a good grip. I'm gonna start just standing and I'm gonna go back and forth. You can very easily do this yourself because of these handlebars. I feel a good bit of discomfort right about here in my hamstring as I get closer to my knee. When you feel like a gritty, gravelly, bumpy kind of texture in the muscle, that's where you want to focus your efforts. When you feel that, hang out there. Go back and forth, try to hit different angles. You don't need to go super fast, but you should kind of turn in and out a little bit, come up high all the way underneath the butt. One of the things you can do is you can just let your leg up here, right? And then get the instrument under the thigh. I can already see these comments coming. So get your leg up on an object like a couch or a chair. It'll relax the muscle. This might be a little more comfortable. What you're gonna do is you're gonna spend about 30 seconds to 60 seconds just going back and forth. You don't wanna spend many, many minutes doing this, because if you spend too much time, you're going to just irritate your skin, irritate the muscle. You're gonna be doing way too much. And like I said, it doesn't stop here. This is just the start. So after I've done this, I am gonna then move into a stretch. Before I do that, I'm now gonna show you a little bonus content. What you should try as you're feeling comfortable with this is going through some motion while you're scraping the muscle. I can do that with my leg up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stretch and lengthen my hamstring. So I can bend my knee and straighten my knee as I'm doing this to get a little bit more out of it. Or I can let my foot on the ground and I can bend forward and come up and bend forward. And again, I could just bend my knee and straighten my knee instead to add some stretch. If you add a little stretch as you're doing it, you might find that you get a little bit more benefit. After I've done about a minute of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off. I've learned from years of doing this that it's best to deal with the mess before it gets out of control. So I'm gonna go ahead, wipe this off, and then we're gonna get into the stretches. Now I can be a little more decent again. Lower this down. Perfect. All right. First stretch that I'm going to show you, or what I'm going to show you, this stretch is a Jefferson curl. I like it because you can get a lot out of it from high to low on the hamstring. You're going to just bring your chin down, roll yourself down, get to your toes, roll yourself up. We're going to put in the link right here our full description of a Jefferson curl, but suffice it to say, you're going to be like a slinky, bending down and up, trying to get the most out of that stretch. You're going to do about 10 reps, maybe 2 to 3 sets. After you've done that, what you're going to do next is you're going to get into a strengthening movement, because after we've scraped it, we've then lengthened it, and now we're going to strengthen it. And we want to isolate it a little bit. My favorite are staggered stance RDLs, or Romanian deadlifts. For a staggered stance RDL, which we'll also provide a link to with more description because we've recorded this on its own, is one leg's forward, one leg's back, and keeping my spine nice and neutral, I'm going to come forward with my chest, and then I'm going to come up. So my butt is going back as I'm flexing at my hips, and then I'm coming up. You're going to do about 10 reps of these using like light to moderate weight. The goal is not to turn this into like a big hypertrophy moment. What you're doing is you're using these dumbbells to increase the intensity a little bit to help train your hamstring how to behave more properly. Again, the full muscle scraping protocol is to scrape, to lengthen, to strengthen. You need to scrape, lengthen, strengthen. Do those 3 things every single day. And you can do it more than once a day. In fact, if you wanted, even in that effort, you can make that into a circuit where you're doing 30 to 60 seconds of scraping, then you're doing lengthening, then you're doing strengthening, and you go through that for 2 to 3 times, and then revisit it the next day. You stay faithful to that work, your hamstring will improve. We have other videos on how to help your hamstring that we will also link in here for other content that you might want to consume around that. I hope you found this helpful. Please, in the comments below, let us know if you have more questions, and definitely share with us any of your success stories as you implement these techniques that I'm teaching you, that we're teaching you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I'm Doc John from Mobility Doc. Talk to you soon.